Good day. I'm Terri Larsen from Lake County Magazine, and I'm here with Clayton Duncan, who has got some exciting things going on that we're going to talk about today. Hey, what's up?
Hey, this is for what now? The
Lake County Magazine.
Oh, okay.
The new online publication.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I guess we'll talk about the my disenrollment is happening right now, and
Speak up a little bit.
Huh?
Can you speak up just a
Okay.
little bit? Yeah.
And
Your disenrollment. Explain to people what it means to be disenrolled.
well, they're blaming me for something, and it has nothing to do with our Constitution. It has nothing to do with our ordinance, but yet blaming me for something, and they want to disenroll me. And again, I guess it's just like saying I'm not an Indian no more.
Okay.
I'm just American citizen, I guess, and I'm not part of the Indian tribe
But
anymore.
if you're born and raised in the culture, how can you be considered not a part of that culture?
When Robinson was, when I was born in 1950, Robinson was on Highway 20. You go down to 29, you go down about maybe a mile and a half, and on both sides of the road, about 44 acres on one side, 44 acres on the other side. That's where I was raised up. That's the old rancheria, Robinson Rancheria it's called. This land was bought from these two, they should call them ranchers, but I read the history on these guys, and these guys used to go around to the villages and, you know, attack the parents and the grandparents, to kill them and take the children and sell them in the slave market. That's what I found out about these two guys who were named after the Robinson Rancheria.
Huh.
And in 1908, they got this land, and then the Indians, you know, they had a treaty, and the government didn't abrogate it because the treaty stated that all the mountains you see from the Russian River to the American River to the Eel River, all the mountains were Indian land. And the California citizens didn't like that because they figured there was gold out there yet.
Yeah.
And they, you know, they didn't want to give that to the Indians, so they hid this tree for over 50 years. Okay, so the Indians were roaming. Even they thought this was their land. You know, the white people was moving in, you know, and taking over their land. They would tell the Indians, oh, we're just renting it, or, you know, but anyway, eventually they lost all this land. So the government made this rancheria, Robinson, the Big Valley, the Upper Lake Rancheria and Robinson were one rancheria at one time, and they split them in the early 1900s. But anyway, Robinson was established in 1908, and I was born in 1950 and lived on the old rancheria, and there was a termination act, they called it, where they terminated all the Indians. So all the Indians in the United States were terminated as Indians. That meant we weren't Indians no more. We couldn't ask the federal government for no money.
What?
They couldn't, you know, or anything. And the land that we lived on, we were supposed to split that up and start paying taxes for it. My mother and father and myself, my mother and father were, according to this Pomo Association Constitution, they were distributees, and I was a dependent. So on our Constitution today, it says you can be a tribal member by being a distributee or a dependent. You know, from that act, that termination act.
Right.
Well, I'm on that. You know, on that list.
Right.
Then they have a termination, a revocation act, 1977, and I'm on that list also. And so, and then they have adopted members, and that's where you can, you know, say I got lineal descendants here, and I want to apply to be a member. Okay, you can get into tribe that way too, and that's where they fit in. Okay, so it's all right now. You know what I see? It's all being this is all being done because I'm speaking out against the corruption that's going on.
Well, you're not the only one this has happened to recently.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes. Well, you know what? Like our Constitution and our enrollment ordinance, and well, there's certain things you got to do there to become this member, and if you don't have those papers intact, you know, you can't be a member. And so that's how they attacked some of those people.
But some of them were elders and people that had been around for, you know, since the beginning, before any of these treaties or anything. They've always been here.
Well, one of them was Mildred Goforth, and that was, you know, what I was talking about, mostly, you know, out there on the radio, and my fight was for that lady because I knew her, you know.
Right.
I knew, we, in the Termination Act, we ended up with her family's home because they moved someplace, and, you know, her parents died or something, and she moved someplace, they weren't around. And so we ended up with their piece of land. There was 3.5 acres there. We ended up with their piece of land, and they used to dance there. They used to have fire dances there. This Mildred Goforth I'm talking about, she knew our language, you know. And
where is she now?
I don't know where she lives now, but
do you think she's left the actual area, or?
I know she's around.
Town?
Yeah,
okay.
She's here in Mendocino County.
Oh, okay.
But,
jeez, what a shame.
yeah, but you know, and she was an elder, and
don't we need to kind of keep our cultures, you know, together so that the knowledge is being shared and passed along to the youth?
Exactly, man.
By scattering everyone, they're destroying their own culture.
There's a fight, I think, between the progressive and the traditional natives, you know, and the ones that want to go traditional now. Like I said, I don't claim to be an American, you know, because our people is older than Amerigo Vespucci.
Thank you.
And so, out of respect for the old people before Amerigo Vespucci, I'm saying that's why I'm not an American, you know. But our people, I feel like Creator made our people, and He called them human being. Now, a human being, I don't think there's no room for a human being where they have to have this little white lie, or you know, you know, to be a human being, you have to tell the truth. To be a true human being, you don't kill your other human beings that God created, or none of His creations. You know, so all these people that believe in God and believe in this Christianity. I mean, why are they out there killing God's creations? You know, the bears and the wolves and the eagles and the, you know, most of them are on endangered species list now because they're being killed. I'm not only, you know, saying by guns, but by the pollution.
I think they need to put you guys on the endangered species list. 64 people have been disenrolled in the past year. Is that
that's shameful? That's a what we're saying now.
People?
Hate crime. It's a hate crime. You don't, it's not, we used to have this name for white people, we called them Masan, and that meant not a white person, but it meant a spirit without a heart or feelings. But now, we're acting like this Masan, you know? And it's sad because, like, what happens to these kids, you know, with all this money? I mean, there's rumors out there, and then there's some, I guess, documents out there too saying that all this money's gone, you know, and it went for pay advances. Okay, all right, so you took all of this money, this pay advance. Okay, what about these kids down here, down the road, you know? Why do you need $500,000 by yourself just to drink on and gamble, you know? When these kids down here are going to need education, they're going to need clothes, they're going to need food, they're going to need clean food, clean water.
So you're saying the generations to come even?
Yes, I'm saying, you know, the 7 generations ahead of us, you know, why aren't we preparing something for them, you know, and making a clean world for them? And that goes for the whole world, I mean, for all of us here in Lake County.
Sure.
But we have
This is like a microcosm of what our entire world is going through right now.
We have resources
powerful and the not powerful.
We have resources on the tribe now, you know, with that money. And there should be a garden big enough for all the people to eat for free. You know, good food, clean food. Yeah. You know, we should be thinking that way. If you want to call yourself a leader, you should be thinking that way. You know, when you're a taker, you only take for yourself, you know, and when you're, say we have a whole tribe out there, and us right here, just one family, you know, but we have 100 people out there, and that casino over there goes for all of us, 104 people, but I take all that money, and 98% of that money I just spend on us. We all got new cars, we all got, you know, brand new clothes, we all got eating in fancy restaurants and everything else, but those 100 out there are just eating commods yet, you know, and they're losing their homes. And we don't have that shame or that guilt to do anything about helping them. Well, then we're not Indian. We're not a real Indian person.
It goes even bigger than that, because what I see is a direct parallel between what's going on your rancheria and what's going on in our country with the 1%ers. The people that are in the rancheria now, they are the equivalent of the 1%ers. They are the ones that have all the money. They are the ones that are holding all the wealth and controlling the people because they control the wealth. So what's happening in your rancheria is exactly the same as what's happening in our country and in our government today. And it's a problem that we as a people, as human beings, really need to address on all those levels. We need to tell our leaders that we are not going to tolerate this kind of behavior. 64 people losing their homes. To me, that is just a criminal act. I heard that animals were slaughtered, dogs and cats and pets, that no one could take. They couldn't take them to the animal rescue, is what we heard, but we don't even know how true that is. But the fact remains, the animals were killed because the people had to leave their homes and had nowhere to take their animals. And to me, that is just criminal acts. Not only the fact that they lost their homes, but their beloved family members of their animals as well, is just wrong.
Well, when you want to run for that board and be this leader, or I call them servants. You have to be a good servant to be a good leader. And when you apply or you want to run for this kind of a position, and you get in this position and you promise all these things. I mean, there was a lot of promises made and not kept. And you promise people that you're going to do. I mean, and you become this person, and you got resources to help. I mean, and if you don't do that, you don't help. I'm just saying, the chief a long time ago, there was so much food here. I mean, and the chief didn't provide food for the, go to the right hunting ground, or he wouldn't be the chief too long.
Exactly.
And so that's.
And there was an election not too long ago, right? And what happened? What was the results of that election? That's another good point.
This is what our problem is. A good election. We were supposed to have an election, but all the candidates that applied to run for chairman were taken off, but her. She ran by herself, and she did this, with her. Every time they have an election committee, it's her immediate family, and so they took the rest of them off and didn't have nobody run against her, and she won, with 80 votes, I think, or 90 votes, 320 voters, but she won with 90 votes, and she did it the time before this too. She ran by herself again, and BIA. Seems like they keep on backing this up,
and they're backing her up. At least it seems that way. So that's why you have an attorney. Your case is going forward. You are going to fight for your rights to be a part of the Robinson Rancheria.
My grandmother, Mabel Duncan, won the case, United States versus Andrus. Mabel Duncan versus Andrus, United States, and she won. That termination act that I talked about, well, she took it to court because they promised a lot of things to do for rancherias and reservations, and they kept none of the promises. So she won her case, and we got to reinstate our rancheria.
Right.
That's why we got to.
Your grandmother.
Mabel
and then
Duncan.
They say you're not a part of the tribe.
And I'm the oldest grandson in the family. In the Duncan family, I'm the oldest grandson, and in my mom's family, I'm the oldest grandson in that one too. But see, it's like, in this area here is the Shecum area,
Yes.
The Shecum village.
Yes.
And my great-grandfather, Solomon Moore, and his mother and father, that was their village, So my blood goes back thousands of years right here in this area, And that's what they're trying to take away.
Right, and how can you take your blood away?
Because of America's politics, they're giving it a try.
Right.
And
so you are going to follow legal action, and it'll be dealt with in the courts. We don't want to make judgments here, but we do want to. We are going to be talking to other people who have been disenrolled as well. This is going to be the first in hopefully a series.
Like that casino there belongs to all 320 members. Okay. All that money that comes out of there, the way we had it, with 49% goes to the people, and we divide it. The rest goes to, for our Robinson business. I don't know and you can't change it unless you have 51% voters. Okay. Well, right now it's not happening that way. We're supposed to have 4 meetings a year. We don't have those meetings. We never had one in, I don't know how long. 5 years or so. We never had a whole membership meeting. We've never had a legal election, for about last 4 years. We have an election every year. June was supposed to be an election. We never had one. And so there's still, and all these decisions they're making in our Constitution, it says you're supposed to work for the health and welfare and the betterment of your tribe. So far, we've been disenrolled, our money been taken away from us, been kicked out of our house. How is that working for the betterment and the health and welfare of the tribe?
Exactly. They're not fulfilling their
It's completely
mission.
opposite.
Gotcha. Well, we will follow this story and continue to follow this story. Clayton, thank you so much for your time.
This is why we're having this
Here's
thing at Upper Lake.
Here's what we want to tell people about next, which is going to happen on, hopefully happen. It's in the works. We're not going to say confirmed yet, so we have to confirm the locations. But October 12th, 13th, and 14th, it's the Lucy Moore Foundation Gathering of Prayer Co-ed Softball Tournament. Going to be here, hopefully at the park in Upper Lake. And we just invite you all to stay tuned. We'll probably be covering it on Lake County Magazine on KPFZ 88.1, also on your radio program, which airs on Saturdays.
Yeah, Saturdays at 1.
At 1, okay, on KPFZ. So keep tuned in, and anybody who'd like to volunteer, maybe help out with the project, is there a phone number or anything you'd like to give out, or any website or someplace where people can go look?
Yeah.
Do you have a Lucy Moore page on Facebook?
We'll be on the, we never made a Facebook page yet,
Okay.
but you could check out Clayton Duncan.
Okay, and they can contact you through
Bloody
Clayton
Island
Duncan.
Memorial.
Bloody Island Memorial, that's right, okay. Very good. Well, thank you, my friend.
All
I
right.
appreciate you spending this time, and hopefully we can get more people to pay attention to what's going on over there, and start asking some questions about why things are the way they are. It's really, I think, worth looking into. All right. Thank you very much.